All right, you can hear me all good and everything?
Oh, good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Sounds good.
All right. So, hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Chrissy. You guys would know that since you're here. I'm starting this new segment on my channel. It's going to be called The Culture with Chrissy. What we're going to be doing is interacting and engaging with different industry members in the gaming industry, which is something we all love. So, that includes like partners on Twitch, game designers, game developers, esports teams. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of different segments, and we're kicking our first one off right here, right now. Would you like to introduce yourself, or would you like me to introduce you? Actually, I'm going to let you do
Um,
it.
you want me to? Okay. Hi, my name is Mario Planta. I am the solo developer of the video game Serene Asylum that just got released October 5th on Steam.
Yes, yes, it did. It's just me being difficult myself. I've never tried this, so
Wake up.
everyone cross your fingers. Yay! I actually played it, you guys. That's kind of how we met.
Mhm.
And I was terrified. I don't know if I'm just a big baby, but it was a great game though. It was definitely captivating, kept me going. Like I wanted to see where it went, and it was nuts. So definitely check that out. This will be edited and then put on YouTube, and there will be some little clips from my gameplay in here as well. So that's gonna be kind of fun.
It was really fun watching you, by the way. That was
I'm glad I was
that
entertaining.
was a
That's
treat.
really good. That's awesome. Ah, so exciting. Okay, so my first thing. So, do you consider you're the game developer, correct? Or
Correct.
okay, so like, what made you first want to be a game developer? Let's start at the beginning. When did this pop into your head and you decided this was the
Um,
route to go?
that was kind of like a long journey since I was little. I always loved art and technology, and basically that was a good combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried throughout my life trying to learn how to code and all that stuff, and it was never really stuck. It was really hard to learn how to code until I've come to this point where Unreal Engine made it pretty easy for anybody to kind of pick it up, learn it. If you have the patience and the determination, you know, um, anybody could do it really. But I just found a good spot at my point in life where I kind of really took an effort to learn how to game develop and put everything together. That's how it
Okay.
kind of formed.
Hey, I like it. I like it. And you were talking about coding and such. What programming languages are you like proficient in at the moment? Just for people that are learning those things, so they
Oh,
know,
oh.
you know it all as well.
No, 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 no. I don't know barely any coding language. I try to learn like C++, C
Yes.
Sharp, and Unity. But
Yep.
what's
Yep.
cool about Unreal Engine is it uses blueprints, so it's more of a UI on top of their C code. So to be honest, you never actually have to learn the language itself. You just have to learn the connections of the blueprints in Unreal, and it's pretty cool because it makes it a lot easier for people who may not be either good at coding or just don't have the time to learn how to code. And it's just a really useful interface they have nowadays where pretty much anybody could do it through just being self-taught, learning through YouTube tutorials, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So no programming language here. I tried and I just couldn't get
That's
it, but that's okay.
that's really good to know, though. This is something anyone can do. It's not like you have to, there's no 12 years of schooling or, so on and so forth. So
Exactly.
that is really cool. I like that. Your favorite aspect, I guess, of what you've done. Like,
Mm,
yeah, I know that's a big one.
that's a big one. I mean, the whole process was, a huge learning experience because you're literally doing everything from concept to story to modeling to making the textures to actual game level design to audio to and then even in the end like marketing, you know um, connecting with people on Discord and Twitch, kind of like what I did with your channel. I hop in, introduce myself, see how it's going, get the feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, I love learning, about everything. And so just the whole process itself was really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Just learning from scratch how to actually build a game, what was I think I might have bit off more than I could chew, but all in all, it was a great learning experience. So
And you did it.
no regrets. Yeah.
So now that we've talked a little bit about the beginning and everything like that, what like can you describe Serene Asylum for us? Like I don't want to describe it. You describe it for us because I was
Sure.
petrified, but I had a lot of fun, and that's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on who you ask how they would describe it, but I would describe it as a psychological horror puzzle game with more of an emphasis on puzzles, I would say. So it's not very I don't know a whole lot of jump scares, but I try to create an atmosphere of like dread. So as you play the game, you're focusing on the puzzles, but here and there some stuff will happen. I don't want to give too
Yes,
much away, but
exactly.
yeah, it's a psychological horror puzzle game, essentially, is what it is.
I feel like that's not really a well-known genre either. Or at least maybe I don't know much because I haven't like been much into horror games, but that's what
Hmm.
caught my eyes. I was like, "Oh, this is something different, like psychological, like this is deeper." And it definitely was for all of you that are curious. It definitely there was definitely that hesitation moment where you're headed, down a hallway or something and you were like, "Oh, what is going to jump out? What's going to do what?" Like so that was really dope. I liked that. But
Yeah. So has been a rise of what's called like walking simulators.
mhm.
You've probably seen these before, where it's like you do mostly minor interactive stuff. You go through like a dark, kind of scary setting with a flashlight. So I kind of wanted to stray away from that and do more puzzles. Be more interactive than that.
Yeah.
Although it's not to say like walking simulators are fun. There's a lot of cool parts to them, a lot of cool cinematics, but yeah, and for my game, I really wanted to focus more on the puzzles, and I've done a lot of room escape, so I took that knowledge and experience and kind of try to incorporate that into my game. So
Okay.
some would say the puzzles are hard, some would say too easy, but it's trying to find that balance
I feel
based
like
off
it
my
was
own
a
experience.
really, for me who doesn't do a lot of puzzle games, it was a good balance of like something that really takes a lot of thinking, but wasn't like one of those like I give up, I'm done with the game type of puzzles. It was
That's
just
good.
like because I wanted to keep going. It definitely
Yeah.
kept you engaged. You
Uh,
wanted to keep it moving.
And I don't blame people who got frustrated too. Like I don't do much hand holding.
Mhm.
I try to not do that. I try to make it actually challenging. But I don't, it's cool people got frustrated. I've seen people just like, force quit the game, right away because
Yeah.
it was just too frustrating. And I totally get that. It's not going to be for everybody.
Everyone, they all have what they like. They've got their little niche, but for
Yeah.
someone who didn't like horror and then played your game, I was definitely like, this is pretty dope. Like,
Yeah. It's funny.
um,
Some people got mad because there weren't enough jump scares.
I
And
don't,
it's
I
not something I wanted to
yeah, I think
focus
like you
on.
said, the psychological aspect of it is more of the horror instead of like the flashing colors and like the zombie
Right.
stuff that's happening now. So yeah, it was a different type of horror, and I liked that. I think I found a new genre. I like you guys like. Fucking bitch. How long did the game take for you to, or like, what was the process in starting it? If you could tell us a little bit about that.
So the process in basically starting this whole thing was first modeling the actual asylum, like that hallway scene you see first in the game
Mm-hmm.
in a Blender. That was like the very first just iteration of what would become a game. And I didn't know at the time that I was building it for the game itself. I just wanted to like model like a really creepy, insane asylum.
Yeah.
But after some time, I'm thinking, well, what if I do throw it into a game engine? And what if I do make some puzzles? And what if I, basically tie it all in together? Because this is how it started too, is I always wanted to do a VR game. Like this was meant to be a VR game, which I might actually eventually port to VR.
Ooh.
But yeah, so I wanted it to be more of an experience at first,
Mm-hmm.
but then I realize it's a pretty crazy endeavor to go from no knowledge of video game development to a VR game. So
Completely. Completely.
I realized how to take a step back and make a traditional first person game in Unreal. And then once I learned the basics, then go to the VR route, which is what I want to do ultimately.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Looking off into the future. I like
Yeah.
it. Bro, this is sick. This is super sick right now. Okay. So, so with a few future questions, I guess, like 5 years from now, this is obviously something you want to continue developing games and now you want to go into VR. Is there like any specific, like, are you wanting to stick with the horror genre? Are you wanting to go different routes, or kind of all
Uh,
around?
yeah, I mean, horror has a special place in my heart. I love the genre. I love the horror movies. Always, fascinating with that visceral feeling
Yeah.
that games conjure up within us, when we're playing. It's pretty special, I think.
Yeah.
But I have a lot more learning to do in the whole game developing sphere, and I do kind of want to branch out and just learn as much as I can, and maybe do an open world game, or maybe a similar puzzle game, but maybe I don't know. I was just kind of mulling around with the idea of doing like a Santa's Workshop, like Escape from Santa's Workshop. So
Ooh.
it's kind of like, you snuck into Santa's workshop and you have to get out within an hour before Santa comes back. So it'll be like a
Oh.
slight scary feel to it, but not as horror as
Yeah.
obviously Serene
Oh,
Asylum.
I like that. I like that. I like that you're sticking the horror route though. That's kind of cool. And definitely VR, which is like the future. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Nothing is
that's
scary like horror in VR, I'll tell you that.
yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I might leave that one on the side.
Yeah, it's
might
pretty intense.
might leave that alone. Did you use any specific like marketing strategies to get your game out there or to get started?
I did a little bit of research, but most of the marketing was literally reaching out to people on Discord, just connecting with people on Twitch.
Okay.
It's the word of mouth, I would say, is the biggest form of advertising for this game. And I
Okay.
was surprised how well it was seen, I guess is the word. So yeah, that was surprising to me. I thought it would only get like maybe 200 wish lists and maybe like 50 downloads
Yeah.
max. But that's what I was hoping for because I didn't actually have a lot of beta testers, and I was hoping like slowly people would play the game, and then
Mm-hmm.
I could patch it up and fix it and keep improving upon it. But right out of the gate, it got a lot of wish lists and a lot of downloads, and then it was just a lot more than I was expecting.
Oh, that had to be
So
exciting.
yeah, so I'm not too sure exactly where a lot of the traffic went through. Probably the fact that it's a free game kind of helped also,
Definitely.
you know. So yeah, I'll have to do some more research on future marketing plans.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool though. That's really cool. So like, okay, so we talked a little bit about your projections for the game and how you surpassed all of that. The reviews for the game so far, everything going pretty good. From what I've been seeing, I think people are enjoying, right? Have
Yeah, it's mixed, but I'm hopeful. As time goes on, as I patch it up.
yeah.
I've heard the critiques, I heard the feedback, and it's all been very valuable from everybody. So
Okay.
yeah, I plan to do a patch probably in the next couple of days, and then hopefully I'll resolve some issues and get some better ratings. But for right now, it's mixed, which I wasn't expecting a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Second of all, horror is a very tough genre because you'll have the people, who want something really, really scary. And then on the other hand, people, hate jump scares. So it's trying to find a balance between the two.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't always hit the mark,
You're
but
not
that's
gonna
okay.
please everyone, that's for
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
for sure. Okay. All right. Well, we've talked about your game. We've talked about the start for a little bit and the future. Let's just move into some basic like gaming questions. You're a gamer. Let's start
hmm
with that. Let's just your gaming not career, but where'd your love for gaming come from? When did you start gaming? I guess.
Uh, as early as I can remember,
Yeah.
I think my grandfather had the old Atari system
Yes.
with Pong. But I think obviously it was like with Super Mario and the Super Nintendo. That's when I realized like this is just a whole other ballpark,
This is what
compared
I
to
like.
Pong. Yeah, like this is you couldn't peel me away from the TV. My
Yeah.
parents had to set a timer like don't spend more than 45 minutes,
Oh,
otherwise,
my parents were the timer type too. Like you hear it, time for bed. Like let's go.
Yeah, yeah. But then whenever I go home, I give them a hard time where it's like, if you supported me more, I could have been this big Twitch streamer and making millions of
Exactly,
dollars.
exactly.
You guys
Every
never
time.
supported me.
Every
Yeah,
time there's one of those contests where like a kid wins $1 million or something, it's like thousands or something playing
yeah,
Mario Kart. I send the article to my parents like if
yeah,
I would have
right.
played a little longer, I could have won.
Yeah.
Like
My
oh my
parents were
gosh.
really supportive of all my artistic endeavors, so I
Yeah.
had them backing me up the whole time. So,
Oh, that's really good.
and, yeah.
So, okay, let's see. Best game system. in your personal opinion?
Oh, that's really tough. I mean, it's hard to say because obviously like the newer technology is
Mm-hmm.
better.
Very
I
true.
think I think for its time, I'm pretty partial to the GameCube, to be honest. A lot of great stuff, back in 2000 hit that GameCube. But I didn't get a chance to try every system. I've only played like, PlayStation here and there. They had some good stuff too, but personally, I just love the GameCube for, the
Yeah.
exclusives and I don't know, the controller honestly is my favorite controller of all time.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
people get, heated in that debate, but I feel like the GameCube controller is the best one of all time, and you can fight me on that.
That's interesting. That's
Mhm.
that's an interesting thought. See, I'm an Xbox girl. I don't. I've always loved Xbox. Had the
Mhm.
Xboxes. I don't know. PlayStation. Recently gotten into PlayStation with the PS5. Not a huge fan of the controller. The technology is cool. It's
Right.
heavier. I don't know. And GameCube. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember the GameCube controller that well.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
But I mean, we all used it. I'm sure it was great.
Hmm.
But yeah, not really remembering that. But let's see. So that's your favorite system, or what you would consider one of the best. What was the
Hmm.
best game, or like the game that you think of right now, like that brings you back to like this was the best gameplay I've had for a while. You know,
I mean, that's a really loaded question
it
just because
is. It
there's
is.
so much
There's so
out
many.
there. I mean, it's like you have to break it down like by category, then
Ooh.
its place, in the video game zeitgeist, and then you have to break it down by at its time,
Mm-hmm.
among its peers, what's good. I'm sure you see over my shoulder actually, other way, the posters. Those are, I'm sure if you can recognize those from the game BioShock.
A little bit, yes,
But
yes.
yeah, might be the bottom one's by the third one, the top one's the first game. But I think BioShock has one of the best stories,
Okay.
gameplay mechanics, just all
Storyline.
around, just a really solid game.
Favorite party game? Are we going
Um,
Mario? Are we agreeing on this?
yeah, I mean Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Mario Kart for sure.
I mean,
I'm going.
it's all good to be honest. I can't really decide. It's gonna mix things up,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you can't go wrong with a Mario Party or
Very
Mario Kart.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that brings us to the present now. Like the last 12 months, this is going to be an interesting question. And I feel like
Mhm.
one of my favorite games is the answer to this. And it breaks my heart every time, but I've learned to
Mhm.
just down it. What is the game you think in the past 12 months that really just kind of flopped or didn't really just, make it as well as it should have? Or,
Hmm.
I know.
Well, there's things I've heard of other games that I haven't played yet,
Mm-hmm.
and there's games for me that personally didn't live up to the hype. So there's two of those things. I heard, obviously Cyberpunk kind of failed to live up to
That's my one.
like that's yours. Yeah, that's a lot of people's game. Yeah, yeah.
Such great high hopes. Definitely
Hmm.
flopped. Love the aesthetic of it, but definitely flopped.
Yeah, yeah. I hear it's solid if you have, a supercomputer to run it. But for most people who don't have that, you'll get a lot of bugs and crashes.
Exactly.
And that doesn't make it fun. It almost turns into a Bethesda game. Bethesda's known for their own bugs, but yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, let me jump back to my list here. Um, ooh, what do you think, like, in your opinion? So, horror is definitely a genre that you like to go towards.
Hmm.
Um, I guess what defines a good game in your opinion, or something that captures you? And for me, it's like the storyline. I like a really good storyline and a lot of options. Is that kind of like the same opinion, or what do you
Uh,
look for in a game you're gonna play?
yeah, I think for the most part, the story is what really can set a game apart, can really make it unique. Because a lot of games nowadays are kind of just like reskins of the same old thing. Same old, same old. But a good story is hard to find. And so some of my favorite games of all time usually, have a great story to back it up, like BioShock or like The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or like Eternal Darkness. If you want to go to the horror genre, like those
Yeah.
games just really stand out just for their stories alone. And then, the gameplay mechanics, as long as those are, good, then yeah, it makes a really great game. I would say
Okay.
story.
Well, we're kind of unfortunately getting to the end of my list here. So, this is interesting. But
Hmm.
but You've told us a little bit about your game. I guess tell us what platforms can we find your game on, or like I know it's on Steam. There
It's,
was
it's on Steam and itch.io
okay,
or itch.io. I'm not sure how
Itch.io. There we go.
gamers say it.
Itch.io is what
I,
I would
I'm
know.
Yeah, okay. I'm still new to that whole ecosystem on the side, so
It's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
And
So right now it's just for PC, but hopefully in the future it could go to Mac and then eventually, hopefully VR also.
okay. See, then like in console and whatnot. That was my next question. Did you have anything more, I guess, to tell us about what's in the future for you, or if you want to shoot out any encouraging words, I guess, to anyone who's looking to go this route, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I would
Just
say anybody who's just even remotely interested in game development, it's amazing nowadays. All the resources are really out there, and you have all these free programs and software. Unreal Engine is free, Blender is free. You have free versions of Photoshop, and literally all the information is on YouTube and Google. So, if you stick with it, it's going to be frustrating at times, but really, if you dedicate the time and you're really passionate about it, you could totally make a game just single-handedly all on your own you know. So just give it a shot, Give it a
awesome.
shot. I like it.
I like it. Well, you guys, I'm going to be posting just little clips of me from playing this game and then posting more information about the game Serene Asylum. Also, with where you can find it on Steam underneath this. It's going to be on the YouTube channel. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in for this short little interview. I had timed out for longer, but I'm out of questions, and I think we got so much information, and we had a pretty good discussion. So I think we just got to get to the point. We have a good flow going. So,
Yeah.
this was fun.
I'm a
This was
fast
really
talker
good.
too, so
Me too. I feel like I ramble. So,
no, you're good.
well, I want to definitely thank you for being on in here. We might bring you back sometime and talk a little bit more about what's the next project and how
Yeah,
things are going. But I think that we're gonna end this here.
sounds good. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you have I want to say a major shout out and a huge thank you to Mario for being a guest on the show. I now consider you a friend of the Chrissy HQ brand. You are an amazing game developer, and I hope that you continue with everything that you want to. I'm excited to see where you go with this. And for our viewers, if you have any questions about what we talked about today, or if you want to join along with the conversation and answer some of the questions, drop those below in the comments. Don't forget to hit us with a like and a follow and a thumbs up on YouTube, and follow Chrissy HQ on Twitch. And if you would like to find Serene Asylum, here's the QR code for it. Also, you could search it on any of the search platforms. Thanks, guys!